Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Diverse Long Island. I'm Stacey Bell, and today we begin the program with a discussion about the historic announcement made by President Barack Obama.
At a certain point, I've just concluded that, for me personally, it is important for me to go ahead and affirm that I think same-sex couples should be able to get married.
The president coming out in support of gay marriage ignited a firestorm of controversy. For some, the issue of gay marriage is a moral issue, but to the LGBT community, it is very much a civil rights issue. And now the NAACP supports same-sex marriage as a civil rights issue as well. Joining me now to share their thoughts on this topic is Teresa Sanders. She is president of the Urban League of Long Island, and David Kilmnick, CEO of the Long Island Gay, Lesbian, Bisexual, and Transgender Services Network. So thank you both for joining us here today to talk about this issue that has a lot of people talking. Any surprises here that this is now being equated to a civil rights issue?
Oh, none whatsoever. I mean, I'm just kind of surprised that it did take so long for it to reach this level in our country that we're looking at it as a basic civil rights issue.
Now, let's clarify how, for some people, does this mirror the civil rights movement, or any civil rights movement for that matter?
Well, when you look at any inequities against a group of people that deserves to enjoy all the freedoms in this country that any other group does, I mean, that's a basic civil rights issue that we're dealing with.
Okay, and I would think you agree as well.
Oh, I totally agree. When we're talking about marriage, I think sometimes the confusion happens around having a religious ceremony versus it being a civil right. Only the government can issue a marriage license. No religious institution can do so. And so when we're talking about marriage, civil marriage in our country, it's about over 1,500 rights, benefits, and responsibilities on the federal level, in addition to many more on the state level. And so it is very much a civil right. And up until last year here in New York, it was a privilege. For many people, and I think that's the clear distinction. Things like marriage and other issues are not a right until everyone has access to it.
All right, and to point out, when you talk about civil rights, the definition is rights belonging to individuals by virtue of citizenship. Now, we know that this ignited a lot of controversy, but a recent poll shows that more than 60% of the people say that the president's endorsement of gay marriage really won't change their vote. Does that come as a surprise to either one of you?
Well, no, not at all. I mean, people are going to have their views based on how they were raised, their basic practices on a day-to-day basis. And I do believe that the more people are exposed to diversity, that their mindsets will be more inclusive. And this is really where we're moving.
Towards inclusion, in your opinion.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
And I think we've seen pretty much opinion poll after opinion poll. Not that civil rights should be voted on or based on opinion polls, but we have seen those opinion polls really lean towards justice and in support of marriage equality. And I think as time goes on, I think we're going to see more people support President Obama because of his stance here, because he was a true leader, a leader like we have not seen in at least since I've been alive. So.
If you think back historically, Lyndon B. Johnson wasn't very popular when he put forth a lot of our social policies that brought equity to African Americans in this country. So if you fast forward to now, President Obama is under the same scrutiny, but I do believe that American people are resilient.
Right.
They will take a look at this and see that, it will be for the betterment of this country to be more inclusive.
Now, I want to show the Newsweek cover quickly, and we've all seen that, but I want to show that, and we'll talk a little bit about the headline, "The First Gay President, Fair or Unfair in Your Opinion?"
I'll let you go first.
Oh, well, thank you. You know what? I think it's when we take a look at magazines, sometimes covers are made to sell the particular magazine. For myself, I could speak from a personal point of view that he really is the first president that I could say truly represents me as an American citizen, to have full equality and justice here. So I don't think it implies that he's gay himself. We know he's not. I'm sure Michelle would tell us that. But it does, for myself and many other people, reflect the first president that we've had in our lifetime that truly stands up for all Americans.
And quickly, last question: how do you think this is going to affect the vote in the African American community? About 20 seconds to answer that.
People will be divided at first, but I think that, again, when we look at our own histories, we'll know that this is the right thing to do.
Okay, thank you both so much for coming in and joining us. This debate is going to go on and the discussion for a long time, so thank you so much. Up next, we're going to introduce you to a group of women who are taking strides to stay fit. Stay with us. We'll be right back.